Okay, let's look over here on page 22. This is going to be a test question. You're going to have one like this. All right. Test question exactly like this. And it's going to say use slope and or distance formulas. Right? We want you to use those. And you're going to determine the most precise name for the quadrilateral. And so in a way, you are going to prove it is what you say it is without just looking at it. And so some of these, when you graph them, like you're going to be able to tell, and you're going to be like, well, that's a rectangle, and that's what it is, and I'm done. But on this one, you have to prove it with using all these measurements. Okay, but some of them you're going to look at them, and it's going to be really, really close to being a rectangle or a parallelogram, or you're not going to know. So we just always want you to use the measurements on this problem, and we're using some algebra that we've known before. Okay. So I think the first thing, we've practiced some of these in class on the Go formative. There's 8 things that we want you to list out here, and 4 of them are slopes. And so that's probably the easy one because I can just count. So in order to get from the lower point to the upper point, from N to P, so I'm going to count. I'm going to go up 2 over 3. So I'm going to say the slope of Pn, I'll put slope here, just make a chart. Pn is up 2 over 3. Mr, it's also up 2 to the left 3. I should have put negative 2 to the left 3. Okay, go from Mn. So that is up 3 over 1. Those are both positive. And Rp, so be up 3 over 1. Okay, so the first thing I notice on here is maybe I was thinking this was a rectangle, but I don't think that it is. I know that it's not because these slopes are not negative reciprocals of each other. This is verifying that these two sides are parallel and that these two sides are parallel, but they're not negative reciprocals of each other. So right now, I'm thinking it's just a parallelogram. All right, we need to check some distances and make sure that none of the sides are the same length. So what I would do to verify my distances is I would do Pythagorean theorem. Now, you guys learned this a long time ago, that when I do count my rise and my run, that basically sets you up for a Pythagorean theorem. So when I counted up 3 over 1, I can use that to help me find PR. So I could say 3 squared plus 1 squared equals PR squared. And I could do the same thing for MN. We knew it was up 3 over 1. So 3 squared plus 1 squared equals MN squared. So I know these are going to be the same answer. They're both going to be PR is going to equal MN, and they're both going to be the square root of 10. That's what that's going to be. So we could just say that. So both of those are the square root of 10. All right. Then I can turn around and do the other side. And you can already tell, I know that they're going to be different. We just want you to show what they are. We're looking for these answers. So I'm going to do RM or PN right here. Remember, I went up 2 over 3 to make that right triangle. So I know that it's going to be 2 squared plus 3 squared equals PN squared. And 2 squared plus 3 squared equals MR squared. So I know that PN is going to equal MR, and they're both going to equal, let's say that's 9 plus 4, that'd be the square root of 13. So right now, this verifies for me where I'm going to have to write a sentence, and I'm going to say that, I'm bleeding down here to the next problem, PNMR is a parallelogram because opposite sides are parallel, and we should say that not all 4 sides are the same, just only opposite sides are congruent. Because remember, if we would have found out that all 4 of them would have been the same, parallelogram would not be the most precise name. We would have had to have said that this would have been a rhombus. So this verifies that it's not a rhombus, that those two are the same and those two are the same. So only the opposite sides are the same, not all four of them are the same. That's what I mean. So you're going to write like a little sentence. So I'm going to have on this test question, you're going to answer these something like this. And then you're going to have the four slopes and the four distances to back up your claim. All right. I hope you see how to do that. We've been practicing those in class as well. Try these other two. I know I did not give you very much room on here, but you need to find a place to put that information.